Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odessa, and we continue with the briefing dedicated to the situation in Mykolaiv region. And our speaker is Vitaly Kim, the head of Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration, who is online with us today. Thank you very much for joining us today. Good afternoon. I am ready to start. So let's get started. Recently, we've seen intensified attacks by the Russian occupiers in the Odessa, Mykolaiv, and Kherson regions. Let's start with this. What is the situation in the Mykolaiv region as a result of the Russia's shelling? Over the last 24 hours, so in 10 October, they have no shelling was recorded, but today there was shelling of one of the communities, just resulting in fire. But the fire was put out. The situation is controlled. Also, it is difficult because of the shelling, but there are no destructions. Last year, the enemy actively attacked the city of Mykolaiv. Are there recent attacks on Mykolaiv? Yes. We have recently saw the missile attacks on the infrastructure facilities in the city of Mykolaiv, but this is significantly less than it was last year, because last year they were much closer and they used different types of weapons. The situation was different. Mykolaiv is more of a home front city now. The situation has improved, but we still have two communities of Charkiv, Kotsoruba, which are close to the front line, and they are under shelling almost every day. We can see active use of drones by Russians instead of drones. They use Iranian UAVs, and they have been launching them a lot recently to attack Mykolaiv and Odessa regions. How do you think? What is the reason for that? It is related to the fact that there is lack of missiles now. Missiles are expensive, and drones, UAVs, are less expensive. They know how to produce them. That's why they use UAVs as a terror. And we expect even more intensified and massive attacks with the usage of UAVs. And I know that the mobile groups were created in Mykolaiv regions just to intercept air targets, including UAVs, and actually there was a money-raising campaign for that. Yes, we were able to collect money. So last year we established units. We are going to have additional units now this year. They were supported by sponsors, civilians, to ensure proper equipping of these mobile teams. So, and in the nearest future, we are expecting intensification of the air defense system using these anti-Shahed mobile teams. But these mobile teams cover mainly the Mykolaiv region. Am I right in understanding? Yes, you're right. But the Odessa region has been also seeing the deployment of such teams. I'm aware of that. I know that at the start of this fundraising campaign, you invited other regions to be involved, and did you receive any proposals from other regions, including the Odessa region? And actually, we started the campaign just to speed up the process, because it is more quick than use the official procurement procedure. We are in contact with our colleagues from the Odessa region, and these teams should be expected soon in the Odessa region. Can you provide more precise information about when these teams will be deployed in Odessa? I can provide my personal vision of the process, but you can ask Oleg Kipper, the head of the Odessa Regional Military Administration, by yourself. Okay, then another question. How efficient are these teams? These groups shut down 2 UAVs only yesterday. But the question is different, is if they are able to down at least one drone, they can spare important facility, like the power supply facility. That's why it is very important to shut down these drones. The question about the heating season, the question about winterization in the Mykolaiv region. We have been stockpiling reserves. We have been checking the stockpiles of physical fuel, and more than 50% of the heating system has been decentralized, using it also alternative fuels, and we have even diversified even more this process this year, so we are ready to the heating season, and the situation will depend on our armed forces, but we're sure that we will be able to live through this. I have a question about water supply. I know that authorities in your region have been actively discussing the possibility with international partners to ensure fresh water supply to the houses of Mykolaiv citizens. Could you provide more details? This is more of a general issue. We have now water supply, and since the 15th December, during the 2 months, we could face issues with the quality of water, not with its supply. But the projects are there. We have 3 options how to solve this issue, starting from emergency solutions to more capital nature. But unfortunately, we need time, and this winter, we can expect a deterioration of water quality for at least 2 months. Do you have a dialogue with international partners, or your communication with them? This is a state project, but international partners support us with equipment and heavy machinery to make it easier for us. They also provide pumps, pumping stations, pipes, but this is a complex issue that is being solved on the state level. You mentioned the expected deterioration in water quality. What is the reason for that? It is very difficult to explain. This is because of technical issues. And the capacity of pipelines or technical maintenance. And recently, the State Security Service of Ukraine has neutralized in the Mykolaiv region one of the biggest agents group of the Russian Federation over the full-scale invasion, over the war. And how do you think, are there many agents still there in the Mykolaiv region? I cannot answer this question, because if I had known how many we have here, we would have arrested all of them. But the State Security Service is efficient enough to reveal such groups. That was a big group, and it has been neutralized, but the operation is ongoing to fight saboteurs. And of course, it is difficult to name the exact quality. But if we compare the situation with the start of the full-scale invasion, can we say that the amount of these agents has been decreasing? Of course, because we are in the state of the war, people see the atrocities of Russians, and even before the full-scale invasion, we did not have a lot of pro-Russian people, and now the number has increased. What about locals? Do they help you to find those collaborators and agents? Yes, the information provided by the locals. And in around 70% of cases, helps to identify collaborators and traitors. You know that with the start of the full-scale invasion, a lot of regions have been involved in supporting the Mykolaiv region, including the Odessa region. And do you have some emergency needs in support from other regions? Money. We need money. But there is a program of the office of the president's office, shoulder to shoulder, supporting different regions. But now the Kherson region is in focus, and all the regions have been united to support the Kherson region as soon as possible. And this is right, because we used to be a frontline city, and after the liberation of the city of Kherson and the right bank in the region, the Kherson is more at the front line now, and we also support Kherson region, and we do not ask anything for the Mykolaiv region. We need money and resources to restore economy and houses for people, but the process is ongoing, and at least 28% of facilities have been already restored, damaged facilities, mainly in the Mykolaiv region. This is out 12,370 facilities. So the recovery process is ongoing. Of course, I would like to expedite that, but we understand that the main focus should be our defense. 28%, what does it cover? First, like 98% houses, 94, this is the road, 68% healthcare, the block of flats, 2.3%, private houses, around 7%. So these are average numbers, and they are different when it comes to different facilities. Could you share details about the activities of SMEs in the city of Mykolaiv? They have been facing challenges because the ports are closed, and when it comes, it's like 30–40% of the economy of the region, because a lot has been dependent on the port logistics. We cannot supply grain, but small-sized companies, medium-sized companies are being recovered because people are coming back, but the general economic situation and environment is very difficult because of the blocked ports in our region. As for the harvesting, in the conditions of the full-scale invasion, what amount has been harvested? I don't have now this information. I know that everything has been harvested, but people cannot sell this now, and I don't have the precise numbers now. What other regions used for the Mykolaiv region to export its products? Could you clarify your question? So we are ready to supply our products where money is paid, but there is the difficulties with the logistics. Over the last year, around 30 million tons of grains have been exported. Before the full-scale invasion, only Mykolaiv ports exported more than 30 million tons. So we can just not correlate these numbers. We cannot export quickly because our ports are blocked and the railway is flooded with the agrarian products. And recently we've got information about the Odessa region, about the mobile operators. Mobile operators create additional mobile stations in case of the blackouts to ensure the context-stable connection. What about the Mykolaiv region? Do you have dialogues with the mobile operators? Do you create additional stations? The dialogue is there, but I don't think that we need to establish new additional mobile stations. We just need to have enough generators to ensure the mobile connection. So we need diesel generators for the existing mobile stations, and that would be my advice to your region as well. Yes, I will provide this information to our mobile information. And what about generators? Do you have enough of generators in your region, at least for the critical infrastructure? In general, yes, we have enough of them. For around 8–9 months, we were a frontline city, and now we're checking their capacities, but we have generators for all critical infrastructure facilities. We even have some reserves. At the moment, it is difficult to forecast our autumn and winter, but we can expect continued attacks on the critical infrastructure, in particular in your region. Are you ready to that? And the same as in other regions, we perform all tasks to ensure the defense and protection of the critical infrastructure. We cannot disclose information, but we understand threats, so we are getting ready. But everything depends on the armed forces of Ukraine. So we should not rely upon luck alone, but everything depends on the armed forces of Ukraine. Because according to some experts, analysts, this winter could be even more severe than the last one, and there was information from the air defense forces that we should expect the record number of drones that will attack the critical infrastructure, in particular in the south of Ukraine. I can answer differently to this question. This winter will be even more difficult because people are more tired. Because last year we did not expect that the winter would be repeated, but unfortunately we are going to have new challenges during this winter. People know what they should expect, and they are more tired. That's why it will be more difficult. But we are more experienced in how to fight this and how to continue our activities. And when you say that people are tired, do you mean our military? No, I mean our civilians who do everything possible to support our armed forces of Ukraine, the volunteers, to ensure the stable operation of the critical infrastructure. So when it comes to critical infrastructure, this is not about the military, because some people have not had vacation for a long time. People say that people are tired, but I'm sure that people continue working in the Mykolaiv region, and people are ready to wait just to approximate the victory. And yes, people are tired, but it doesn't mean that actually people are going to stop. And of course, people will do everything possible to support the armed forces of Ukraine in the country. After the Russian fleet just left Sevastopol, Crimea, and a lot of people say that this is kind of a victory over the Russian fleet in the Black Sea. How do you think will the missile attacks be less? But actually, they still can reach us with the missiles. Also, the distance is longer, and it will make things more complicated for them, and it will be easier for our armed forces to shut down these missiles. But they still have missiles to attack our territory. So this means that we have more possibilities, more time. And for example, if a missile is launched not from Balaklava, Sevastopol, from the Crimea, but from Novorossiysk, we have more time to intercept these missiles. Yes, you're right. Thank you very much, Vitaly, for being with us today. With the Media Center Ukraine Odessa. You know that Odessa is always ready to support Mykolaiv. We are concerned about you when you're under shelling, and I know that you are also concerned when Odessa is under attack, and you know that recently the attacks have been intensified, in particular in the south of Ukraine. We try to shut down and shoot down everything possible that we can have in our region to protect the whole of Ukraine. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I would like to remind you that that was Vitaly Kim, the head of Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration, and this is the last briefing at the Media Center Ukraine Odessa for today.